What's going on, Jerome? So the Minnesota Vikings just finished their third preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And so you've seen teams that played on Thursday, Friday night, like the 53-man cutdowns coming fast and furious. So decided to try and get this out as soon as possible, although they are flying back from Philly. It'd be cold as ice if you got cut on the plane ride home. Kind of stink, man. Like you're halfway through, one of Pat's cheesesteaks, and you're just like, oh, you go. But some tough decisions. Overall, not a ton of movement on our 53-man roster and practice squad projections, but some guys rose, some guys fell, and let's dive on into it. So Kwesi, snap. Go ahead. So first off at quarterback, so Sam Darnold, Nick Mullins, 2 on the 53. Jaren Hall, I don't think that you put Jaren Hall on the 53. Because last year the change of rules, your emergency third quarterback can be on the practice squad, and you can just call him up whenever. So I think that Hall, he'll get through waivers, and then they'll be able to protect him on the practice squad. And I think that he's shown enough to be the quarterback 3 of the Vikings this season. Matt Corral, he's sort of behind the 8 ball to begin with, but I'm really glad that Hall showed up and shown out. Not only because we like Jaren Hall with his talent, we like him as a person, and I think that he could be the long-term backup for McCarthy. And if Hall had been bad the last couple of preseason games, I think that the Vikings would have taken a look for a quarterback 3 in the market, as well they should have. But now I think they're good to go. A running back room, so 3 tailbacks, 1 fullback, 8 Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler, King Kene. So you could tell like the commitment to King Kene, the fact that he didn't play in the last preseason game, plus CJ Ham as your fullback, captain, special teamer, etc. McBride and Gaskin, I think, can safely get on the practice squad. Mo Ibrahim, had some carries towards the end of the game, but I think it was more just getting to know him and just having a practice on Thursday where if the Vikings do need a running back throughout the season, they'll know who to call. Wide receivers. So I had bandied back and forth about keeping 6, but we went in a different direction, which you'll see. But Jefferson, Addison, Naylor, those are your top 3. I think Tristan Jackson, Brandon Powell are going to be on the roster. I think Jackson has definitely earned a spot. I think Sherfield has done enough. He's a tough kid. He's a good run blocker. The coaches like him. I just think it might be a numbers game on the 53 on the practice squad. So I think they'll go after Sherfield. Deshaun Jones has shown enough upside, plus they gave him the bag for a UDFA. But, I mean, could this spot come down to Lucky Jackson or Justin Hall? Like, it wouldn't really shock me at all if Justin Hall made the practice squad. I think it was too little too late for 53, but it was clear that they were really trying to get a look at the former UFL star, the pride of Ball State. So, honestly, like, Jones has looked good, but also is it a spot where he could get claimed somewhere else, or do the Vikings just like Justin Hall more? So the surprise we talked about was N'Keal Harry making the 53. So keeping 4 tight ends on the 53, even with Hawkinson coming back from the PUP list after 4 weeks. But Oliver, if you see him basically as an extra offensive lineman, Johnny Munt has been great whenever he's been called. Nick Muse has been solid. I think he's earned a 53 spot, and also he's a good special teamer. There's just something about N'Keal. I mean, it's clear that they like him as a unique offensive weapon, and you saw that on the final preseason game, and also the other preseason games where second-team offense, he was one of the first tight ends in, and I think that they like that, just that wrinkle where defensive coordinators have to stay up at night. Like, okay, so we got N'Keal Harry, former big-bodied receiver, solid as a blocker, great as a receiver, receiving tight end. I think that he could be something. Samus Reyes, so once he passes through waivers, you can put him on the practice squad, and the Vikings would have that extra practice squad exemption. So they effectively would have 17 members on the practice squad this year. Tanyan, just injured, back spasms. It's unfortunate, but I think he's gone, and Trey Knox has already been waived injured. Offensive line-wise, keep it 9. So a couple of changes. So Darrisaw Bradbury, Ed Ingram is going to start the season. Brian O'Neill. And then Rouse, Quisenberry, I think are solid. I mean, Rouse gave up a sack yesterday. Also, they tried Rouse out at one of the guard spots. And that could be because Reisner, Diamond Danfini have been dinged up. Reisner going on 3 weeks now with that back injury. So I think that Reisner could be a designated to return from IR before 53-man cuts. So one of those 2 spots. So Hawkinson will be on the PUP to return, and then you have those 2 IR spots open. So Reisner, Reisner is supposed to be that guard depth man, but they haven't seen it. But frankly, I love me some Tyrese Robinson. Juergens has been solid in spots, but pass protection has been hit or miss. I think that there's a future with Tyrese Robinson. I truly do. And I think that, you can gamble, try and get him down to the practice squad, but honestly, if you put Reisner on short-term IR, just put Robinson on the 53. Just do that. But also, if you get the wins that Tyrese Robinson, there might be interest on a team claiming him, just put him on the 53. You could probably get Quisenberry through waivers, or put Reisner and Feeney on short-term IR. Who knows? Who knows, man? Then to the defense side of the ball. So I could keep 6 D linemen on the 53. Tillery, Phillips, Bullard are starters. LDR, Jonah Williams, who did not play in the third preseason game. Tells you what they think about him. Plus, I think they keep Taki Taimani on the 53 as the nose tackle. I think Redmond and Jaquelin have done enough to warrant practice squad spots, and we go from there. Edge rusher. So sort of went back and forth on this. Grenard, Van Ginkel, Turner are your three starters. I was saying starters and horsemen of the apocalypse. 3 horsemen. So it came up Sourceman. Patrick Jones second, if he doesn't get traded, is in the mix. Hadi Ward, they obviously like a lot. I think he makes a 53. Plus, I think they keep Carter the second on there. And Richter and Porter, I know that both of them have had splash plays, but I think that they will be safe enough to get through the practice squad. And also, I think Gabe Murphy could be a short-term IR candidate. So if you use the pup with Hawkinson, and then you'd be freed up with Reisner and Murphy as your 2 designated from IR, because they're 2 separate things, right? Since Hawkinson's been on the active pup list all throughout training camp. Then off ball, so Pace, Cashman, Grugia, Hill. I think Osma's done enough to warrant a 53 spot. Gant, I want to keep Gant in the fold. I do not want him to get poached. If they have to cut corner somewhere else to have Gant on the 53, I'm certainly okay with that. Cornerbacks wise, so keeping 10 total DBs. So what we did was Gilmore, Murphy, Shaq. Those are your 3 starters. McLaughlin, Fabian Moreau, the veteran, as well as a Caleb Evans on the 53. We toyed with getting Moreau or Evans on the practice squad, but especially Evans, given his age, I think that he would have been picked up. Shelley, I think you can safely get on the practice squad. And then for the safety room, Harrison Beasley, Metellus, Theo Jackson. Ooh, he is for real. Bobby McCain, the veteran. I love Bobby McCain, man. Come on. Also carry on my J-Word son. And then Lewis Seen. So Seen just wasn't good against the Eagles. And I don't think that he enhanced his trade value. Yeah, he didn't follow up the Browns game with another solid outing. So maybe it. Maybe it. And then Will Rockford. I feel like the kid has done enough to win the kicking job. Ryan Wright and Andrew DePaulo. Also, with Najee Thompson going on season-ending injured reserve, it did free up the Vikings an extra spot in that secondary, so it made things a little bit easier. But that's it. Again, news could come out tonight about the Vikings making 53-man cuts, but that's our final projection, our final practice squad look. Officially, they have to be in by 3 p.m. Central Time. The only time zone that matters on Tuesday, but there's always leaks beforehand, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Final Vikings 53-man rooster and practice squad projection. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, everyone's thoughts. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull Production Value.